Did you know that you can get charged with a crime based solely on incriminating statements that you make? In this video, I'm going to be talking about 9 examples of tactics that police use during interrogations to try to get these incriminating statements out of you. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in California, and I help people who have been arrested put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. And again, in this video, I'm going to be going over something that I think is really important, which is 9 of the different tactics that police will use during interrogations, because you can be charged with a crime. You can be locked in jail with bail of $1 million or more in some cases, with no hope of getting out for potentially years, realistically, while you await trial, especially if it is a big case and you are using a public defender, or the evidence is slow to come from the district attorney's office. You can be charged with a crime just based on stuff that you said. So let's talk about these tactics so that you understand what's going on if you ever find yourself in the unfortunate position of being interrogated by police. And by the way, this is not just for guilty people. The scary thing is that some of these, and they're based in science, they're based on psychology, some of these tactics will work on innocent people. That's how we get people who confess, and then we find out decades later that they were actually innocent. That's how this happens. So let's talk about it. Number 1 is the read technique. Now, this is a widely used interrogation method. It involves a series of psychological tactics to try to elicit a confession from a suspect. It includes minimizing the seriousness of a crime, providing the suspect with sort of a face-saving way out, and appealing to the sense of guilt or responsibility. And that technique, it sort of applies to some of the other tactics as well, but that is the specific technique that they are doing when they use all of those psychological tactics. Number 2, false evidence. Police may present false evidence to suspects in order to elicit a confession. For example, they can claim to have DNA evidence for a crime, even if such evidence does not exist. Number 3, the good cop, bad cop routine. Now, a lot of people know about this, but it's interesting. When I started doing this, seeing it in practice, it is convincing. One police officer will act really confrontational and aggressive toward the suspect, making them even more scared, while the other person is friendly and understanding. And the good cop then tries to use this trust that they've sort of built to try to make the suspect feel more comfortable and get them to cooperate. Number 4 is mirroring, where police officers mirror the behavior and language of a suspect in order to try to build rapport and encourage them to open up. For example, if the suspect is using a soft voice, the police may start to use a soft voice as well. If the suspect is sitting a certain way, a police officer may do that too. That one is subtle, but if you ever find yourself in that situation and you look at the officer and see that they have made their voice softer, or they're crossing their legs the same way that you are, for example, you'll know exactly what they're doing. Number 5, the bait and switch. This is a tactic which involves pretending to have evidence against a suspect that does not exist, and then offering the suspect a way out if they confess. For example, the police may claim that they have an eyewitness who can identify the suspect when there is no such witness who exists, and then tell him, look, if you just tell us the truth, we'll help you get out of here. It'll go a lot better for you. Number 6, using flattery. Police officers may use flattery to build rapport with the suspect and encourage them to open up. So they may, for example, praise a suspect for being intelligent or any other positive traits. Number 7, and this one is so tricky, presenting the suspect with a scenario and trying to get the suspect to say what they would do in that situation. So police officers may present this hypothetical scenario and ask the suspect how they would react in that situation. For example, they may say, well, okay, you say you didn't do it, but if you were there at the time of the crime, what would you have done? And this one, the reason why this one drives me crazy and is especially tricky is because then later, once they file charges against that person, the DAs will often try to take that statement out of context. And you can see in the police reports that the police officers do take it out of context. Fortunately, now we do have more, although it's not complete, audio and video recording of these things, so we can see, okay, well, what was said right before. But it's a little bit hard when a video starts at a certain point to say, well, what happened before that? And that's often the situation that we're left with. Number 8, appealing to a suspect's sense of duty or responsibility. So police officers may appeal to a suspect's sense of duty or responsibility by, for example, saying it is the suspect's responsibility to make things right, and that the only way that they can do that is to give a statement about what happened. Number 9 is appealing to a suspect's emotions. So police officers may appeal to a suspect's emotions like fear, guilt, sympathy, in order to encourage them to confess or provide information. Many times police will act really understanding. They'll say, well, hey, if I was in your situation, I would have shot my husband too. You caught him cheating on you. It's only fair. That's not a crime. Nobody's going to convict you of that. They might say that, and then I think, well, okay, shoot. So I can actually tell this person what happened. Now I feel a bit better, and maybe I did feel a little bit guilty for killing him, but now I feel a little bit better that this other human being understands me, and that may make me more likely to make incriminating statements. Don't talk to cops. Don't trust them. They are professionals. Some of them are better than others, but many of them, especially when they get to the level of interrogating suspects for serious crimes, they are at the point in their careers where if they're good at what they're doing, they may trick you into making a statement. Even if your plan is to just say, well, nothing happened, that's not true, I'm innocent, you never know how your words can be twisted. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have a criminal case in California, feel free to book a consultation with me down below. You can also find my phone number there so that you can give me a call.